Hi, welcome to Understanding Conscious Cryptids with me, Khat Hansen, your host. Hi everyone, and welcome to Understanding Conscious Cryptids. I'm going to continue on with our discussion on portals and the beings that use this planet. Now, some of them live inside this planet and on this planet, in the waters of this planet, air of this planet. This is a very conducive environment. So, there's some pictures that are posted. These are beings that you might possibly run into or see on your travels, when you're out in the forest. It just depends on where you're at and where you're going and what you're seeing. It all depends on who's in the neighborhood, as they would say. First up and foremost are the fairies. A lot of people don't believe in them, and that's fine, but people need to understand that just because you can't see them doesn't mean that they're not there. These guys are here. They're very discreet and they can make themselves small, or they come in as big as I am, 5'4". Some can be terrifying. Some can be mean, some can be cruel, some can be nice. They're just like human beings. Now, that being said, I need you guys, if you do come into contact with these fae, to really think about what you're doing, because these guys have a reputation for being tricksters and thieves and just all around snotty little things. And yeah, I am saying that because I've dealt with them extensively. I do deal with them extensively still. They travel in pairs. They travel singly. And then you have, like I have here in the Southwest, where the group that I have are almost like paramilitary. And they're called Hadyas. And they are just the snottiest little things. They drive me crazy. They drive my cats crazy. My cats try and try to get rid of them, and they can't, and I'm not going to banish them, but I am trying to get them to go another way towards somebody else's house. Please, God, please. They keep eating things, tearing things up, to make themselves happy. They didn't like the way that I had a set of plants out front, so they tore those all up. And yes, I know it was them because I saw their little footprints, and it was just a big commotion, I guess you want to say, because we had a run-in, Faye and I did, a couple days before. I don't really tell people to have interactions with these guys because it's just not worth it. They can follow you home. They can do all sorts of things, like I just said, tear your garden up, tear your house apart. I mean, seriously, these guys can do whatever they want. Fae are very, very strong. The next one that you might see on your travels through the woods would be a Steyama, Sasquatch, Oma. I mean, so many names for these beings. I prefer the name Steyama because that's the name that they gave me to call them. And these guys themselves can be tricksters. They love to play with human beings because we are so emotional, whereas they are not. They are just not our emotions that we're having to deal with in them. I mean, we can mirror them because they look humanish, but they're not human, and you'll see that. Case in point is a tall woman in the picture right here, and she has little pointed ears, very elfin-like. So take it for what it's worth. These guys can be tricksters, and they can be snot pots. The next one that is in the lineup here are the Salamanders, the beings that live in the fire. That's the best way to put it. They love to come forth and scare the living heck out of us. They get a lot of energy off of that, and they feed off it. So when you're out and about, you might want to think about that. When I start a fire when I'm out in the forest, I always ask that Heavenly Father bless it, and I make a ring of stones around it that have some form of quartz line running through them, or it can be solid quartz. It just kind of keeps everything that happens to appear, if they are using the fire as a portal, keeps them kind of locked right there to the fire. They're not going nowhere else to cause havoc. A lot of forest fires are started by these guys. Sure, some of them are human to start the fires, but there are also salamanders and drakes that do it. These are part of the fire people, Fire Nation. And no, I'm not thinking Airbender, Last Airbender cartoon nation. I am saying the Fire Nation. These guys aren't just one being. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of them. So I need you to think about that. The next one that I'm showing you guys is this one's a good one. This is a dragon, and it's a female. And you can see her, if you back away, you can really see her. She's looking right there at you. She is talking about coming through to her dimension from this dimension, and they're notorious for trying to get us to go into their dimension. Now, is it for something evil? No, but it can be. It could be very dangerous, potentially, because you're talking about a being who is so large, and has it in their own mind just what to expect from humans. So I always say approach with caution, but just be aware. Don't just walk right up to him and start trying to touch him, etc. It really wouldn't work in this instance, because she's just caught between the etheric and here. So really, you're just touching her spirit. The next one's a picture of me pulling energy. Like I've said a million times, pull energy from the earth, from the ley lines, and this way you get to actually see what I'm talking about. The next one is my portal that was opening. This one was not a good day. It really wasn't. I had sent something back through the portal because it was being a jerk here, and I didn't want it here. And I had sent it back and turned around to walk away, and just as I did, I heard that humming that I get in my head, and my teeth started to shake, and I knew a portal was opening about 10 feet away from me. So I went down and I waited there, and sure enough, it opened, and out stepped this huge, enormous stadium, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call him. Not one of my group. And I think he was just as shocked as I was to see him, and me being the hall monitor, I said, "What are you doing here? This is not your area. You can't come here without permission." And he told me that he needed to find a family member. So I let him stay with the hall pass for a couple days, and to find what it was that he needed. And then he left apparently in the middle of the night on the first night, because he could not find whoever it was he was looking for, and he has not been back. So you see, that's what I'm talking about. Things come through the portals unexpectedly for us, but they know how to use them, and they know what they're doing. We don't. Not yet anyway, I'm sure. But we'll get there. I mean, talking general population now. I'm not talking the military. I'm talking general population. You, me, your brothers, your wives, uncles, husbands. It's just us that don't know how to do it just quite right yet. But we'll figure it out. The next one after that are the fairies. As I said, they can be big, small, tall, short, fat, ugly, pretty. It just depends. These guys are pinky fairies, and they're a member of the pixie family. They just like to watch human beings, have fun with us, kind of trick us a little bit every now and then, and they don't really want too much. I mean, you can keep these guys in your yard and feed them like pets. They're just that docile. Then again, here's another photo of a drake. Salamander, whatever you want to call them. Coming through, being here, causing trouble. And I wish to gosh they'd never done this. I really do. It just infuriates. I get tired of telling people to not do the things that they're doing. And then we have another one that is me, and that's a picture of a stegma coming through. It was really interesting because when she had a message to deliver, that head was all I saw for about 40 minutes. She just kept the head there. And I reached out and was swinging my arm through it, trying to make sure that what I was touching was not an angel. But she wasn't. She was something completely different. She was stegma, and she needed assistance of her own. So the person I was with grabbed her, and we wrapped her up in my coat, which was sitting in the car. And once we did that, she stopped shaking, and about 20 minutes later she asked if she could go back through the portal. And that was kind of a hard one because I had to tell her that she was going to have to wait because there was no vibrational frequency that I was picking up that could help me to help her. So she had to stay for a couple days, but once she got it, she was fine. I took the food to her as usual. She was very happy with it. She just needed to be back where she was. And then we have the reptilians. I've spoken so extensively on these guys. There's just like, heave a huge sigh. I'm serious. These guys just make you want to just slap them. They're so ugly and so mean and so nasty. And I just have this tendency when I run into them to poke it with a stick. I mean, seriously, I just can't stand these guys. And they are so mean and so nasty that other dimensionals use them as, what do you call it? Lackeys, toadies, whatever, to do their dirty work, And these guys hide and hang out in the portals, and they remind me of a kid, like a 12-year-old kid at his most annoying, and he's inside the elevator just pushing buttons randomly. I'm going here, next I'm stopping at this floor, then I'm stopping at this floor, and people are like, would you just please stop, gritting their teeth and want to smack this kid. That's these guys. These guys get used, like I said, for everything. So if a portal does open up around you, you're liable to see one of these ugly buglies. And I'm serious, people. These guys are ugly. They stink. Okay, I don't want to deal with them. I really don't. So when I'm around and a portal opens and I see one of these guys, I assert my dominion immediately. Get the hell off my planet. This is my planet. Go somewhere else. And you failed school. Get out of here. I'm not letting you be here. And I know it's wrong, and I know it's judgmental, but I've never had anything good come of dealing with these guys. They're just ridiculous. So, I'm willing to take my lumps with Gaia, when she's gonna get me, and play the school principal. I hate that. But when she does it, and I get the lesson, and I'm like 10 years old. I'm rolling my eyes, yeah, I know all this. I don't want to deal with these guys, but I have to, because this is a school, and everyone's allowed here. I'm just getting annoyed talking about these guys. Isn't that stupid? Oh my heck. So I'm just like, I need you guys to be really aware, because I've had people send me videos and they're like, so I went on a walk, Kat, and I didn't see a damn thing. And I'm like, really? And show me, can you send me a video? Show me what you did. And as soon as they show me, I'm like, 1, 2, oh look, there's a couple right there. Oh look, there's a trio right there of things that they are not aware of. So then I start circling things, and showing them. And then they either do one of two things. Say, oh, okay, that's cool. Or B, they go the opposite route. Oh my heck, you start freaking out, and don't want to talk about it, don't ever want to go out in the woods again, don't want, and it's like, hello, you're sitting in your house. I can pretty much guarantee that at some point in the time frame that you live in that house, you're going to have a visitor at night. Because these guys are all around us. They're here. They're not going to leave unless the planet blows up. They're not going to leave unless it's made inhospitable for them. So why would you expect them to only be in places like, for instance, that because they're big and they eat a lot, maybe this entity goes into the supermarkets when he comes here. No. These guys don't do anything that aggressive. They do it all very subtly, so you don't even realize that they're here. You don't realize that they're over at your market taking food. They just do all this stuff because it's the nature of them. So when they come here, they're like, oh yeah, there's, we're stepping off the boat, rubbing our hands, going, good time, Charlie is here, And that's how they act. They're very happy to be here for the most part. Unless you find the nasties. And they are there again. They're here to stay. They're not going anywhere. So I just figure it's better to start opening everyone's eyes to them. So that way everyone's got a chance. I don't want to say a fighting chance, because I don't mean it like that. I don't mean you have to go fight them and whoop their butts. Don't get me wrong, I do that at times, but I'm letting you know. I want everyone here to be safe and to be happy and healthy and alive, for heaven's sake. Everybody be alive. There's my best Frankenstein impression. We're all alive. So just share your universe, your multiverse. Just share it. Share your dimensional space with someone, And if you feel like you're seeing something, you have two choices. You can address it or not. Run away or stay. Either way, you are going to feel better with the decision that you make. No, that's it for today. I hope everyone has a wonderful week ahead that's coming up. And please don't forget that I love you. And I want to really, really, really thank my Patreon patrons. You guys are really amazing and helpful to me. Thank you. Bye, everyone.